What is up guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video, we're gonna be making magic, ranging from spellbooks, staffs, wands, and an orb? Well, stick around to find out. And these creations were absolutely insane. So without further ado, let the video begin. So the first thing we're gonna be making is the wand, and what's my idea? Well, I'm gonna create a wand that shoots light, and how many damage does that do? Well, it just deals 17 damage, and I think that's pretty balanced enough, I guess. So let's get started. And by the way, this is gonna be the plan that we're gonna be following. The first command teleports the mob, which is the bat, towards the target, which is in a 30 block radius and is in the family monster. I also added the little cool curvy effect. The next thing we have to do is turn the bat invisible and give it resistance. Then we just add the particles. There we go, the bat is invisible and there's some cool particle effects. Now let's just test this, and yes, it works quite well and it actually looks very cool. Especially with that curvy motion. Now, moving on. The next command basically limits its range because I think it would be too OP if it just had unlimited range. So if there is no monster in the 30 block radius, it will just disappear. I tweaked the commands a little so it can only target one entity at a time. After that, I made it so that the light can only hit one entity before dying. And now it's almost finished, we just have to make the wand part. So first I created the detection system. Now it will only detect a player who is crouching and has a stick that has the value of 10. Or data value, might I add. Now on to summoning the bats, and yeah, I think that's about it. That's actually way cooler than I expected. But, I mean, yeah, that's the entire build. And if you guys want a tutorial on how to build this, then just comment down below and maybe I'll make a video. Well, I mean, yeah, that's all. This was actually way cooler than I expected, and yeah. Oh. Wait, there's like something in the sky that's like getting bigger and bigger. The next thing we're gonna make is the book, and I'm thinking of making a book that shoots lightning, and wherever it landed, it'll explode, so, a simple thing. The first thing I created was the detector, and it'll detect the player that is holding a book with a specific data value. Then I decided to add a marker so that when you hold the book, it'll detect which of the mobs will get struck by lightning. I don't wanna make it too overpowered, so yeah. And yeah, I don't really want it doing that. Like, I think that would be too overpowered though. So I'll just give it some delay. I mean, it'll explode anyway, so like, what are the chances that the mob survives? So I decided to create a structure with a TNT that's about to explode and save it. And when the lightning strikes, it'll load the structure and bam, it'll create the illusion of an explosion. And I feel like there's not really much to this. This is probably the most simple one I've created so far, and yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I tested this out on some flying mobs and it's actually pretty satisfying. And I mean, Yeah, that's literally it. Why did I even create a bigger template? So, let's move on to the next one. The next thing I wanted to create was a lifesteal orb, where if you hold an orb down and you sneak, it'll, just slowly drain the life out of your opponents. Of course, it would be limited to 3 mob caps, so it wouldn't be too overpowered. I mean, will it be? The first thing I created was, these cool particle effects that would target the player. I created it so that it would only target the player that was holding the orb with a specific data value. And when the assigned mob that has a particle is near the player, it will give the player regeneration, just like how it did here. Next, I made it so that the assigned mob will die, and yeah. It basically just gives the illusion of, blood going inside your body or something. And oh boy, look at this. That's pretty long, I must say. So, now it's time to test it out. And yes, it actually works. Now we just have to make it so the surrounding mobs will summon the assigned mob, and the rest will just follow the command. And I added a little blue particle when you hold the orb. Now we just gotta make it so that the surrounding mobs will summon the LF bats, and yeah. The issue was it's summoning a lot of them. Like a lot. So I decided to add a delay and made the specific mob around you take damage. And yeah, I think that's about it. Let's try out on a bunch of mobs. And I think this is too overpowered. I mean, just look at this. I'm just absolutely obliterating these Vindicators. I just want to take a moment to say, if you're watching this far, then you're probably enjoying the video, and consider leaving a like, and also don't forget to subscribe if you do like the type of content that I make. I make a variety of content, including PvP and other stuff like that. So, yeah, let's go to the last and final command block creation. The last thing I want to create is a chain where you can hook enemies from afar and pull them closer to you. The first thing I created was the little particle thingies, which would be the chain. I made it so that when the assigned mob comes in contact with the mob that is trying to target, is gonna have a tag, and that tagged mob is gonna teleport towards me. In other words, it's gonna tween, just like this. I just tweaked a few stuff, and yeah, it was actually working quite well. And so, here's the video will end, I guess. This has actually been a very fun challenge to actually increase my knowledge in command blocks, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you next time. Zscfury here, peace.